Dear God, as we gather this evening, this council asks for strength, courage, and wisdom. We ask that you look over this town of ours and thank you for the privilege of allowing us to serve it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Call to order the Mooresville Town Council August 17th meeting. Tonight it looks a little bit different up here. We do have Council Member Shane Williams on the phone with us. We are still able to call in. That is part of the protocol, and we're also still waiting on the redevelopment board to get their recommendations back from their legal counsel, and we're going to try to mirror that to where we can continue this to make sure that all the members have an opportunity to attend the meetings, whether it's virtual or in real time. Gentlemen have had a chance to read the minutes of our last meeting. I need a motion to either approve or amend.
Make a motion we approve minutes from the August 3rd, 2021 meeting.
Okay. Motion been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Yes, I'm going to do a roll call from here. Can you still hear?
I did have, I had something that I would like to amend.
Okay, sorry about that.
But I don't know if it's too late to do that.
No, absolutely not. We have not taken a vote.
Okay, under councilman comment, I would just like where it says that I restated his desire for the public workshop, that little paragraph there.
I'm looking for it.
And it says, he mentioned the willingness to have a police K-9 program and ensuring $20,000 per year set aside. I just wanted to make sure that said $20,000 to fund the account one time, and then the chief of police would budget for his needs going forward.
Is that
We had a discussion about that.
Is that the way it was? Is that the way it was stated at the meeting?
Yes, you and I had a discussion last time about whether I meant $20,000 annually or $20,000 one time, and then have the chief submit his budgets going forward.
So I guess we can draw this in here, but how was it worded the night of the meeting?
Well, you had asked for a clarification, and the clarification didn't get put in. So
Okay.
if you want to go back to the footage and
So
word it exactly.
we just need to add that clarification was $20,000 per year, or $20,000 the first, or to start it, and then funding per chief.
Yeah, going forward. Yeah.
Comments from the council. Jeff?
I have no problems if that's what he wants to amend it to. If that's what he meant or said, that's fine with me.
Greg Sweet. Dustin?
I'm good with it. Yeah, I would like to watch the footage and get the exact wording.
Do we want to table the minutes and correct them at our next meeting? Or do you want to just go ahead? You have a motion on the floor right now to approve the minutes. We're going to rescind, we're going to start all over with the amendments. Do you want me to add the amendments to this, or do you want to vote on it tonight? Or do I have a motion to approve them with the amendments? I guess is what I should say.
I'll pull my motion to approve the minutes, and I will re-vote to table to add the clarification and then do a full vote at our next meeting.
Motion been made to table. Do I have a second? Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Councilman Cook?
Aye.
Councilman Williams?
Aye.
Councilman Sweeney?
Aye.
Councilman Stanley?
Aye.
And I vote aye. So we're going to table the minutes for clarification.
Thank you.
Thank you. Under unfinished business, we have before us again the Mooresville Town Outdoor Warning. We have two representatives here from the county. Do we have questions for them? Come on up. Come on down. Again, they had presented an opportunity for the town to participate with the county and allow them. They were going to place two new towers, possibly three.
I talked with the council. I had my budget hearing yesterday, and they tentatively agreed to possibly do the third one this year, so we can put all three in this year. And just take
2021 or 2022?
Be able to do it this year before the end of the year, all three.
We already have funding for 2 sirens. We have funding pending on 2 sirens right now that is appropriated, and basically we had asked for, Mark had asked for money for next year for 2 more, but they're going to give us an additional appropriation this year for 1 more and then just give us 1 next year. I think it's kind of the gist of it. And so there'd be 3 sirens.
Trane, can you hear that?
I really can't hear that very well.
We'll move this out just a little bit. Shane, what they've said is they're actually going to be able to fund 3 of the meeting, or 3 towers yet this year, should we choose to do that.
And that would give you more coverage than you have now.
Say again, Shane?
Was that for 2021? You had asked the question. I didn't hear the answer.
Yes, it's for this year.
Okay.
Jeff?
Have you had any discussions with Chief Julian or Steve Ellsroth about these sirens being put in?
They were here at the last meeting.
I'm saying before that.
No.
Have.
You've never talked to our chief or Steve Ellsroth about this?
No. This is a $120,000 investment we're willing to make, where you have 3 brand new Welland sirens to replace the sirens that you have. Some of those are federals that aren't compatible with the Welland system, and you know the problem we had with the last tornado. What I want to do is give you a guarantee we'll have sirens that are compatible with the system, and that will be set up by the National Weather Service for the citizens of Mooresville and surrounding areas.
And it's my understanding our software does that also, correct?
Your software sets off your sirens. However, what happened on the last thing was the sirens didn't go off automatically. The dispatcher called Morgan County to find out if they could set those sirens off from the dispatch center there. We cannot set your sirens off. So the sirens went off, did not go off, and the tornado passed through Mooresville. So I propose that we put in 3 Welland 10 stacks, cover Mooresville and a larger area of surrounding area, and that'll be set off from software through the National Weather Service. And we can also set that off manually. So you get state-of-the-art tornado sirens and not piecemealed system. 3 of the sirens that you got were from Eminence that we traded in and got very little for those sirens. So I guess it's up to the council if they want to have brand new sirens to cover the citizens of Morgan County, or of Mooresville and part of Morgan County.
And part of it, Jeff, we've got, when we put our new activation system in, that is an automated system, we've got an extra manual system that because we'll have a manual system there at our place. We'll put a manual system up here, so in case there's a failure one way or the other, we've got our manual system can activate, or your guys' manual system. And the way that manual systems are set up, it's like a little keyboard. I call it the calliope. That's kind of what it looks like. but they can pick the sirens that they want to activate if they would so choose. The thing with the well ones, they're electronic, we can put voice across them. So if you need to do like a voice evacuation order, those are other options that, as opposed to the electronic, or the federal sirens, they're what we call a manual or a mechanical siren. And so basically it's a siren, and that's all that it does. The well ones, if you wanted to put Westminster chimes across them, then you sure do.
And Scott, can you explain that we can do silent testing every day, which
Yeah,
we do?
we silent test our sirens every morning at 8:30.
Well, I think we can do that with ours too, with the software we have. I think we can test it.
They have the ability to silent test, but and I'm not an expert at
Yeah, I'm not either.
but you can silent test and it will send a signal, and it will say, yes, you did signal to the siren, the batteries are fine, but that's really about all you're gonna be able to tell. You can do a growl test, but you need to have somebody present to hear if the siren actually purrs and starts to spin up. Ours, it checks all the speakers and drivers. It tells us that we have a driver that's in fault, because these are stacks of sirens, stacks of speakers.
Sure.
And so if one of them's in fault, we just send our repair people out. They take the one out that's bad, but if there's one bad, the other 9 are still.
Still functional, right.
Yeah, so it's a different philosophy. We went with the Wellens just because, like I said, we can do more with electronic.
The only problem is, I think obviously public safety is priority number one
Right.
in everybody's book. I'm just struggling with not having a sit-down meeting with our chief and Steve Elzeroth about these, versus a 20-minute presentation from last meeting. It's my understanding that, that a meeting like that hasn't taken place, and I would feel more comfortable if it did.
Well, Jeff, I guess if you want to work that out and let us know, that's fine, but I put my proposal together and.
Sure. Well, I appreciate your time and effort into it. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not speaking on the behalf of the council. I'm just saying myself, we put our.
For me to benefit, other than have the whole county on one system, under one maintenance contract, and then we can have them out twice a year to check everything and silent test every day. I just think it smacks of good sense. The other thing is, under the new Title 10, I'm required to, if we have separate tornado sirens in the county, I'm required to make sure those are operational, and that I have a copy of the maintenance program. So I would rather be able to have that under one umbrella.
And I'm not saying that's not possible, or, they could pass it tonight. I would just feel more comfortable, talking to our police and fire chief and operations and dispatch center to say, hey, this is what we're getting,
That's fine. And then, I guess when you guys make a decision, let me know.
You can ask the rest of the council.
Yeah, have you had any conversation with Kevin or Steve on this?
Just not long ago, but that sirens didn't come up. There was other.
I just know there's been no communication, and I don't know where the fault lies, but I would like to all be on the same page, I don't want to approve something and, cram it down their throat when they haven't had an opportunity to even, discuss it, with the county officials or whoever, I don't want to make that decision for him, He's the police chief.
He hasn't said one way or another to you,
I've been told there's been no communication, that's correct.
but he hasn't gave you his opinion, or Kevin's opinion.
No, I think they wanted to talk with him,
They wanted to talk to,
Mark and Scott.
Nobody's contacted me, Tom, it's been a month since we were here
Well, we
for
had
the
a
last
meeting
meeting.
interim.
My understanding, they're waiting on your call. They were told at a fire dispatch meeting that you were going to contact
Sir,
them.
I just made a presentation, and I would think that'd be the town of Mooresville to do that. We've made.
I'm not going to circumvent them. I hope you understand
And
that.
I'm not asking you to.
and all the maintenance and everything you guys pay for.
Absolutely.
And it's gonna be 3 10 stacks.
Yes. Scott was up here with ECS and looked at the placement and with Mike Dyer, and he configured that on a map and said this will work, and this is the coverage area, which is what we had presented.
It may be a change, there might be a slight change from the original map that we sent. I think we had an area picked out at, on State Road 67 South, on the east side of State Road 67, just south of Cherry Blossom Way, but because the power lines are in the way there, for the bucket truck, we would rather move it up to Cherry Blossom Way just off of State Road 67. And I'm sure the town has a right-of-way along that street there. So it would be just right off the right-of-way, or right on the right-of-way there. That gives us good coverage. It's not 150 feet probably from where we were going to put the other one. So, I mean, 150, 200 feet at the most. So the other siren, I talked to Rex Cook from Mooresville Schools, the 2 sirens. They'll be on actually Mooresville Schools property. One's going to be up behind, by the football field. That's a nice, good spot to put one on there, right there by the football field up on that knoll. And the other one will be at the soccer fields at Landersdale and Ridge, right there at that intersection. So that gives us really, really good coverage.
And I'm not disputing that. My only thing, Mark, is, and I'm not being difficult, is I was told there was a meeting over fire radios on July 26th. In your conversation, this is all third party because I wasn't there, that you were going to call Steve and Chief Julian to discuss this, and that phone call's never taken place.
I was never made aware of anything like that.
Okay,
I went to the meeting on the radios, but it was a totally separate meeting.
Right, and evidently there was discussion there about the sirens, that you would contact us to let us know what's going on, us being the police department.
I don't
and that's
recall
never
that ever being said to you, Scott.
I don't either. I mean, there was
Okay.
a lot of things that were covered, and I have no specific recollection of anything brought about.
And Jeff, I have my phone on 24/7. I sleep with it on my bed.
Well, maybe it's our fault for not reaching out. I would feel more comfortable if we would reach out to them and set up a meeting. Is this time sensitive? I mean,
No, it's not, but, I mean, you can just hand them the proposal I put together. It's the exact same information I'm going to give them. So, I mean, to me, just the bottom line, with all due respect, is either you want new sirens, 3 of them to cover the area you have in a larger area, and you take away all the expense of that and the liability of that.
would we still have control over all that? Setting them off and have access to
Have a
that?
secondary station where you'll be able to set those off. But there's new rules out from the National Weather Service on when those get set off, which is what we'll follow because we're the National Weather System.
Are you opposed to having a meeting to sit down with myself and the proper people before next meeting, or is this something you're looking to be done tonight?
No, that's fine. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just saying that's the offer and it's the exact same thing I gave you. I'm not gonna deviate from what that says.
Sure.
We had Jacob Terrell. I don't know if he's communicated with any of you folks from on the board.
Shane, have you heard from Jacob Terrell?
Could you repeat your question, Tom?
Have you heard from Jacob Terrell?
From who?
Jacob Terrell?
He met with me and he was supportive of them,
Okay.
He's
of the new sirens there.
Jacob.
No, I'm not sure.
He's a storm chaser, kind of weather guru.
I'm not
type of
familiar.
guy. He came down and visited our facility and looked at what we were and explained what we were doing. So
Sure.
I think he was going to communicate with, I thought the rest of the board, but I wasn't for sure. I knew for sure Shane, but I didn't know who else he.
Yeah, I'm not involved in that.
Yeah, for what I saw, he posted on Facebook, he's favorable with it.
It's a great system. I mean, it's a no-brainer in my opinion. And we're just trying to bring in everything under one umbrella. Commissioner Collier supported this project with me from the very beginning 3 years ago. And he's supportive of this project. I just talked to him 2 days ago.
Jeff, it sounds like we are relieving a little bit of the problem from the police department, because I think the last time, we just had some communications, but we'd still have our standard operating procedures that allow us to follow you said it's the state guidelines.
It's the National Weather Service to set those off.
But I know our last time there was some confusion. I know that if there's a tornado watch, and then there's a thunderstorm warning issued. Our standard operating procedures say you drop the tones right then.
And the new protocols from National Weather Service is a tornado warning or a tornado or a,
Severe thunderstorm is put with a destructive classification. That's what they want. And if the Skywatch organizations and Skywarn, they also recommend the National Weather Service. It gets a little iffy, but their recommendation is tornado warnings only or thunderstorms with destructive classifications, because it happens more often that you are under a tornado watch and a severe thunderstorm warning gets issued, and then nothing happens that's severe enough, and people start just basically not paying attention to the sirens, because it happens frequently enough. Those two things happen frequently enough that it tends to drive up apathy to the sirens. We don't live test ours, loud test them, unless we just put some sirens in and we want to do one loud test to make sure the range is where we want it. Because we want the sirens to be an unusual occurrence. When somebody hears one, we want them to think, ooh, there's a tornado, or there's something's going on. We don't want the sirens going off at noon every Friday or anything like that, because people just start getting immune to them. They just start tuning them out. And that's not where we want to be. We want the things, when they go off, it's the real thing, and you need to take cover. And with the new National Weather Service, with geofence warning, you're even going to get it tighter down, where if Mooresville's in that area, in that warning area, and let's say Morgantown's not, then Morgantown's sirens are not going to go off, but Mooresville will. Vice versa. It's just depending on the geozone that the National Weather Service sends out with the warning. The system will interpret that geozone and activate the sirens that are in that warning area.
so Jeff, we're happy to sit down anytime with anybody, but it's the exact same proposal.
Sure.
What do you think that Steve and Kevin are against, or
They're not against anything. I think they just want to sit down and discuss it. I don't think the discussions they've never taken place, so I have trouble handing something over, like that without discussing it with them, I don't know why I would do that.
Shane, do you have any comments?
No.
Greg?
As long as it's not time sensitive, I'm fine with it.
Dustin?
I'm also good, but I don't want to make the county think that we're not interested, and then they pull that third siren funding and put it towards something else. But I'm either good.
Is that an issue with the funding, or?
I don't think so. I'm going to have to install those 2 sirens I paid for this year. So
We've got an agreement due. We can't have your sirens up anyway before our agreement's due, so we're going to have to renew the agreement on ours tonight, and that's on our agenda. But
yeah, and I see it's a federal signal agreement, so that wouldn't be compatible with what we have. So
It would be what?
it wouldn't be compatible. If you went ahead and spent money on a federal, and you decided to go with the county's proposal, then that would be money that you didn't need to spend.
If you want to table, I need a motion to table.
Well, I think regardless, the way the timeline falls, we have to renew the agreement, because we're not going to have.
We just don't get any support. Or we could go 2 weeks and come back with this and not spend $1,500. All this says is they're not going to update. It doesn't say they're going to take the signals down and take them home. It just says that they're not going to update the software, that we'll be working on last year's software. If we table one, I think we need to table the other.
And then how long to install the new 10 stacks?
I would think we could do it by the end of the year, depending on when you get an agreement. because ECS is pretty backed up. They do a lot of business in the state of Indiana.
We can push them as hard as we can to get up here and get it done, but, I can't speak for the vendor.
Sure.
The install vendor, I mean, because there's a little coordination there because, they'll be buying new poles and RNC generally does their install of their poles, so, they have to work with they pay them to install them, so, yeah, it's something, we don't get into that end of it, we just say, here, we want these sirens up, and hopefully they can get them
Is equipment in stock?
yeah, two of them are.
Two of them are.
Yeah, and then the other ones, it's probably about a 6-week lead time just to get the third siren.
COVID really
Screwed
backed everything up because we've been waiting a while for these two.
Yeah.
Would you guys have time to meet sometime between our next meeting, which is September 7th?
We can meet tomorrow. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's just that I think the only real issue here is would their decision be to keep the same piecemeal system that they have or go with an updated system that's compatible with the rest of the county? I mean, that's the only question in my mind. And if it's a control question, they feel like they're going to lose control of a certain part of their job, they still have a control panel. We'll have one control panel put in where they can have it as a backup to Morgan County 911 Center to set that off. If by chance something happened there, we couldn't, then they could set it off. So it's more of a collaboration. Collaborative effort to better serve your citizens.
Well, that's why I think a meeting needs to happen versus,
But like I
Putting
said
something in
earlier,
without
Jeff,
them
I
having
always
their-
have my phone.
I know
It's
you
been a
do.
month. If there was concern, they could have called me.
and they have their phones too.
And Matt and I communicate all the time.
Sure.
We have sand pile up here at Mooresville now, sandbags. I didn't know they had an interest, or I would have certainly met with them.
So is that a motion to table?
Motion to table.
I have a motion, do I have a second? Motion made and seconded. Jeff? How do you vote?
Aye.
Shane?
Aye.
Greg? Justin?
Aye.
We have made a motion and the vote is 5-0 to table. We will be in touch with you and we will have a decision by our next meeting.
All right.
I can assure you
Dustin,
that.
would you want to sit down with me, Scott, the police chief, and,
Oh, I'm all for it, so.
All right.
I met with you guys for 3 hours.
I'll have Tori send you an email, and then you can bring that information back the next meeting, if you would, if that'd be fine with you. All
It's up to you guys.
I'll be part of that.
right, that'll be fine. So we'll get a hold of Ellsroth, and then I'm sure he can contact both of you at the meeting.
I'll tell you what, we'll be in contact with you guys.
All right, that'll be fine.
All right, since your phone's available.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ferguson Road annexation. Diana had something on that, didn't she?
Wanted to put it on the agenda basically for information, just to say that she sent them the annexation papers and we're waiting for them to be returned. Just kind of an update.
I don't know if you heard that or not. The Ferguson Road annexation, Diana put that on there just to say that paperwork had been sent and we're waiting on them to return that.
Okay, and that's the lady that wants the sewer hookup, correct?
Yes, that's the one there on Ferguson Road that would give us contiguity to the Pyatt property.
That's right, yep. Okay, thank you.
The cemetery GIS survey contract, all that is for signature. We've already approved it, we're already moving forward with it, but legal counsel has reviewed it, they did make some changes, and that is just for signature. So there's no vote on it. Federal signal, if you look at the federal signal, it does say down here at the bottom, prices are firm for 120 days. The quote was for August 4th, so we do have some time if we want to table that. I think what we're purchasing there is the software to set them off. We can still operate on our old software if we know. And if we decide not to go with the new signals, if we want to keep ours, I think we'll still be within the time frame there. Can I have a motion to table that?
Motion to table.
Motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Jeff?
Aye.
Shane?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dustin?
Aye.
And myself, aye, 5-0. Viva Park contract, that is the maintenance of our generator, correct, Jeff?
I believe so, yes.
And have they talked to them? I mean, is he satisfied with him? I know there was some questions.
I've had no discussions about this with Chief.
Oh, you have not?
I've not.
Okay. I know that he sent this to us. I know legal counsel has reviewed it. I know that there were some questions right off the bat. They did some work that, if you reviewed the bill, it kind of said, we did this work, but it really didn't need it, but we just thought we'd go ahead and do it. And then when we questioned them on warranty, because it's not that old, they came back and said, oh yeah, there is a warranty on that. And they worked with us, but we kind of had to stay on top of it. But I know that he had brought this to us, and they, legal counsel had questioned, hey, let us look at that before we do anything. This is for a annual maintenance agreement. It is $975. I think they come in, do the oil change, filters, and all that stuff. We know that that's important because if we don't have power at our dispatch, we don't have public safety. Comments or questions?
Has legal reviewed that?
Legal has reviewed it, yes.
You said they had questions of it.
They had questions of it, but this is the reviewed copy. This is the approved copy from legal counsel.
Is this the people that installed it? Or
It is,
they got other
the
prices?
people that actually did the installation were through the contractor, and this company has worked with them since then. Comments?
Motion to approve the Eva Park contract.
Motion been made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made, Jeff?
Aye.
Shane?
Aye.
Aye.
Dustin?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Jeff, Dustin, 5-0. Under new business, farmhouse market.
Hi, I am coming to ask for approval for our September 18th downtown Mooresville Street Fair. Nothing is going to change. We're going to do everything exactly the same. We're not asking you to close the roads, just asking the same thing we've gotten the last two times.
My only concern, she answered earlier, I asked her if she talked to Haley, and she said they've actually worked real well together and made even some more improvements for.
We did. We sat down together and had a meeting and scheduled the next 2 years of dates that are good for her. So, and she has put them on her calendar, put them on mine, so I think we're good for the next couple of years as far as dates go. At least I hope, anyway.
Questions? Comments?
She said it's the exact same setup as before, correct?
Exactly the same, nothing's gonna change.
Is that
What are the
working well?
times?
Ask me that again?
What are the times?
Oh, 10 to 5.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Is that working out well for you as far as,
getting people downtown, yes.
okay.
Yeah.
And
We're killing it getting people down there.
even when
That's
the roads open up, then you'll probably continue to do it that way? Or?
Uh-huh. I'm gonna keep it exactly the way it is. It's not broken, so why try to fix it if it's not? It works well with the roads open.
Looks like it's well attended.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's well attended.
Comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Motion been made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Greg, or Jeff?
Aye.
Shane?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dustin?
Aye.
Myself is aye. Have a party. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fair.
Hey, yeah, I guess it's kind of like pulling teeth. It was really hard that first time, but it's really got easier, hasn't it?
We worked out a really good system. So, and that's what's important, is we were all able to get together and work out a really good system. And now that we know it works, it's great.
Well, let's fix it. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, just, I mean, the smaller shops that we're averaging way more sales on those days. Like, we're just on each street fair, we're averaging between the studio and salon on our own, we're averaging about $2,500 to $2,800 a day in sales on those days compared to our normal days. So it's definitely benefiting. And it'll definitely help too if we can get some of the restaurants open and going with it, so we're waiting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night.
See you later.
Under new business, amend the salary ordinance. Brent, do you want to come up, please?
The park board had forwarded this on to you. This would increase the wages of the 3 tier levels that we have at the before and after school program. And those employees, there's 33 employees that we hire for those positions. They work split shifts. And we just need to pay them a little more to be able to keep attracting employees. So we're coming forward with their request to do that. There is funding there for those positions. It's not tax-based funding. That program is operated by the revenue that it receives.
And in this proposal, you did ask for this to be retroactive back to the beginning of school, correct?
Yes.
Are you suffering from the same problem as everyone else, just trying to fill those positions?
We are really experiencing a lot of difficulty in filling those. It hits us hard when school starts, and we need to do that because we have to meet state minimums on staffing. And then again in the spring, when we bring on 80 part-time people for other programs again. And those programs, we actually run 2 summer camps. The one is run by the RECU employees, which are, that's the camp that takes place at the school. And then we have the PAC program, which takes place at Pioneer Park, and those are paid out of a different area.
Comments or questions for Brent?
And that's all part of this, Brent, down
See.
this line item.
Yeah, so we consider those 3 different areas because that's the old salary
Right.
ordinance there. And the amendment to that
Actually shows junior, regular leader, and then the site coordinator. Yeah, so there's 10 that are the junior leaders, which are high school students. There's 23 leaders, and then there's 3 site coordinators, depending on the day. There is some turnover. We've tried to stabilize that more.
Tom,
Yes.
does an amendment to the salary ordinance require a public hearing?
On this one here, the legal counsel had told us no, that we could amend just this part of it.
Okay.
Brent, which one are you wanting to amend here, all these? Am I looking at this right?
No, what that would do, wait a minute.
I thought this was the amended one.
The amended one has 4 X's across the top.
Help me out here.
And this, that's the bottom 3.
Okay. But is this that's what we have in front of us?
That's the proposed,
Right here.
yeah.
Okay, that's what we have here.
Okay, it shows junior leader, leader, and site coordinator.
Did you state the amount?
Yes. And, well, actually, it says RecU leader.
That's what
We consider the 10, the junior, the 11, the leader, and the site coordinator 12.
Okay. Shane, the way that it's written in there is the RecU leader, there's a $10 per hour, an $11 per hour, and then the site coordinator will be at $12 per hour. And that's an additional $1 per hour from what it was.
Okay, thank you.
Are those 3 positions at the school, working their split shifts, worked a total of 12,623 hours.
That's not fair though, right?
Huh?
We've covered that. That's not fair. That was last year, right?
Yeah, that was last year.
Let's leave that out because we didn't go half year last year, right?
No, we did more than that, but yeah. And
Well, I mean, it is what it is. We have to fill those
Gotta
positions.
fill the spots.
Or the system, or the program just goes away. And I think the program provides, even though I did not support it, the program provides after seeing it work, provides a heck of a benefit to the town of Mooresville.
It does. Some of those are free, some of them are reduced, and some of them are regular fee. And we determine that strictly from the guidelines that the school follows on that. So if they're on free or reduced lunch, then that affects the tier level that they pay for their service they get.
Questions or comments? I need a motion to either approve or deny Ordinance 15, 2021.
Motion to approve ordinance 15, 2021.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Jeff?
Aye.
Shane?
Aye.
Craig?
All right.
Dustin?
Aye.
And I am an aye. 5-0.
Thank you. Does that need another reading then at the next? It doesn't?
No, I don't, not on this. We're just amending the ordinance.
Okay. Thank you.
Department heads, letter of intent on the fire truck.
So I'll back up real quick before we start talking about the letter of intent. We did put the trucks that was surplus on municipal bid. We got a sale for the pickup truck of $6,305, which actually went more than what we anticipated on. That was picked up from the winning bid.
Sure.
Came over here.
What was it?
$6,305, $6,305 on the pickup truck.
Someone gave that for it. And someone paid that for it.
I was gonna say, did you run?
Yep, it went through the municipal bid and it went into basically a bidding war right there in the last half hour of the bid or the sale. We came over here to the town hall and met with the gentleman, and he basically gave us cash, and Diane and myself counted it all, and everything checked out fine. And
You went to the riverboat, right?
do what?
You went to the riverboat, right?
No. Well, I don't know what happened after it went. Actually, no, it was given to Debbie so she can deposit it. We also did sell our engine. It went for $6,500. There has been a little bit of a glitch with that truck. Come to find out that we did not, or the town did not get a cleared title after it was paid off. So I've been dealing with the B&V and all them trying to figure out how to get this title cleared. The company that bought it is actually out of New Jersey, and this truck is actually going to Dominican Republic. They are buying it for over there to serve over there for that company over there. What I found out today with that engine is that we're going to have to go in front of a judge and get a release court order to this, because the lien holder on this engine is no longer in service. They have been bankrupt. All the research that we have found that nobody bought that company out. So that's why we have to go in front of a judge now to get it released. I talked with our judge here, Lib, and she's given me the legal advice of how to take those procedures, and then basically I'll start talking with our legal counsel and getting all that set up to try to get that taken care of. I was kind of hoping that legal was going to be here tonight to kind of get some information, but I will have to get with them, I guess, tomorrow. Do we want to release this engine? They can still use it with a bill of sale, because we will have that through the municipal bid, and then then once we get the title cleared, send that title over to them so they can get it deported to another country.
Chief,
Yes?
I don't know, I'm not trying to interrupt you. We don't have a paid lien release letter for that title.
I'm sorry, I didn't
Have
hear
a paid release title,
that.
paid release letter. Is that right, Shane?
Yeah, lien release letter.
No, we do not. I know the clerk office has looked for it. They've asked me to look through other files that they've looked, that they showed me. Neither one of us can find anything other than when we purchased it back then that had that lien company on there. And that's kind of where we're at right now, is basically we're at the mercy, because the B&V will not give us the title without that lien holder, and that lien holder is out of business.
Okay.
Was it, that's an,
But we didn't get a physical title back.
That's what we're finding, yes.
Okay.
that was in
85. 1985.
We probably ought to do an inventory of all of our titles and make sure that we've got them all.
Well, with doing all that, we didn't realize that one of our staff vehicles was not titled, so I've started that process also while I was at the B&V last Friday.
Okay.
good catch on that.
Yeah, that's not good.
I'm just wondering if we never owned it, can we ask Larry Long for all of our insurance money? Well, I guess we need to find out from legal counsel what we can do.
Yep.
I don't even know if the company wants, you know.
They are okay with the bill of sale, which, like I said, we will get that through the municipal bid. They just won't be able to get rid of it and take it overseas without a clean title. And that is coming from them. So, like I said, I was kind of hoping that legal was going to be here tonight to kind of get theirs, but I will reach out to them first thing in the morning on that.
Okay.
The squad, we started it out at $25,000 for a bid process on that one, and that did not get any hits. Nobody even bid on that truck. Another volunteer fire department, which I believe the clerk had gave you guys a copy of that letter. That was a volunteer fire department here in Indiana. They're actually looking at it. They came up here after the bid. They saw it a couple days after, or a day before the bid was ending. They came up here, took a look at it, and they went back to their board, looked at it, and then basically gave us an offer of $21,500 as is. We don't have to do anything to it, and that's where we're at. I didn't want to make a decision on that, being that high of a number, and we were kind of back and forth on what are we going to go with this squad.
You know, they just got some little short member on there saying, man, we can get it cheaper than that.
I did ask them if that was their best. Being a volunteer fire department, I know they do fish fries, this, that, and fundraisers to try to raise their money and work with their township trustee to try to purchase things. And that was kind of their best offer, that they didn't have much legal room on that. So, and that was with Chief Stone, talking to him.
Jeff, I know you and I had the conversation when the one company offered $12,000, there was absolutely no way.
Right.
I still think it's a good truck. I still think it's probably worth more than this. I was a little taken back when you said that we'd put it for 25. We originally thought that was a $40,000 or $50,000 truck. I just don't know. Your thoughts, Jeff?
I mean, I'm with you. I mean, obviously it's worth, we think more, but we've tried multiple ways to sell it and advertise it multiple different ways, and we're not getting any hits on it at 25,000. I mean, if it's doing us no good, just sitting right in the way, and paying insurance on it and all that. I mean, if somebody can pay it's 21.5 and get it in service, and I'm okay with that. I mean, that's the best we can do. It's the best we can do. It beats just sitting in the parking lot.
Your comments, Shane?
I think I tend to agree with Jeff on that comment.
Greg?
Yeah, we could keep it around and try to get more, but we may be doing it a year from now. But yeah, I think going to a volunteer department, that, like the chief says, it's hard to get funds appropriated for things like that. And I think it's good that it'll be back in service and do somebody something good.
Justin?
Well, on this one, I'm gonna be the odd man. I still think it's worth more. I know that it would make sense to sell it, but I think it makes sense to outfit it with the street department too. Give them another vehicle at their disposal. I wish Dave was here. Don't know how much it would cost or what use he would have out of it.
I know you had talked to Dave about that. Did he get any prices on outfitting it differently?
He talked about putting a dump bed on it, and then he also talked about leaving it the way it was and using it kind of as a service truck, using it to maintain the gateways, throwing equipment on it, shovels, rakes, hose, the generator on it. He liked that, but we never sat down and said, do you really need this, or will you use it? Or like Shane and Jeff have said, is it just gonna sit in that parking lot? Are we just changing geography on where it's set? If we're gonna use it, I don't have a problem with keeping it and using it and just not giving you anything. But if he's gonna use it, if he's not gonna use it, there's no sense in it sitting around, and like you said, selling it a year from now.
Yeah, my last conversation, I think he even said it here, he didn't have a use for it. I mean, I see what Dustin's saying. Obviously, if we can use it, let's use it, but if not, what do you do?
Well, our trend tonight has been to table everything. Do we want to table this and give Dave one last question, or do you want to make a motion to move?
We're starting to get September 7th pretty deep. So.
You want to move it?
I make a motion, we sell it for $21,500 to Marion Township Volunteer Fire Department.
In that motion, can we ask how tall the trustee is first?
No.
Okay. Motion has been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Jeff?
Aye.
Shane?
Aye.
Greg? Justin?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Let's move it.
Do we have a title for it, Tom?
No, we're gonna have to wait and get that also.
No, I did see- no, we do have that
Carvana's gonna
one.
bring that down to us.
Okay.
I did make sure that one.
Yeah, at that point in time, you really, in the vehicle you're driving, that was Dustin Gregg, and it's 5-0.
That was Jeff.
Oh, Jeff, yeah, I'm sorry. I even wrote Jeff Gregg. I just said Dustin Gregg.
The only thing I have left on my stuff is that we did get, I did offer 2 conditional offers of employment for 2 full-time staffing. They are scheduled with their with their medical stuff to get cleared for perf. One is a lateral transfer. We're actually taking him from Monroe Township Fire Department down south from Bloomington. And he's coming back up here. His hometown's here, so that's why he's coming back up. And then the other one's going through all of his testing and stuff like that, and we'll have a scheduled for about September as a due date for them to start, and we'll be back to fully staffed. That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Tonight, the part of legal counsel will be played by a bitter young man by the name of Tom. Legal counsel, they, both Beth and Jewel were detained unexpectedly at the last moment. However, they did forward to us, or to me, and discuss 2 actual documents for the fire territory. And they are, first off, I'll make sure we get it in the correct order here, a cost sharing agreement. And Jeff, can you kind of enlighten?
Yeah, basically, we met with Brown Township Fire Chiefs, and with the discussion of the merger, they were going to take it back to their board and propose that we go 50-50 using the same attorney versus them going out and getting their own. I think a couple things that does shows good faith effort on both sides, and it'll help share the cost of accomplishing one goal. So that's basically what the consensus was of that meeting.
Well, she provided, and I'm assuming that you were expecting that, she provided a document that we can approve and then send it to Brown Township for them to approve. Is that what you were expecting?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Comments or questions?
And that applies to both the attorney fees and the financial advisor's recommendations and reports.
Yes, and I don't know, maybe I took those out of order. I did them in the order that she sent them. There's also a legal document that she has reviewed, which is scope of work from Baker Tilly on the financial impact. And what that does is that'll take and show what you guys expect expenses to be and how that affects the township unincorporated rate, how that affects the Mooresville incorporated rate, the levies, and also how that would play out as far as setting the levy for a territory, should that be the direction that it ends up going. So that document from Baker Tilly gave a not to exceed of $25,000. Now, it will be billed hourly. It's not a set fee of $25,000. She's just saying that it will not exceed that amount. That's probably the most important part that we need to know. That's the biggest part of the
Without a
puzzle.
doubt.
That and whether or not they have titles for their equipment.
Right.
Yeah. Could we, I don't want to jump ahead of you, Tom, but could we approve that pending the, approval of Brown Township of the other document?
Yeah, what we would do there is we would approve everything contingent upon both parties being in complete agreement and signing off on everything.
Okay.
So let's do it in no particular order. Let's do it with the scope of services from Baker Tilly, not to exceed $25,000, but yet on an hourly rate. I need a motion to either approve or deny that scope of work.
Motion to approve the scope of work with Baker Tilly not to exceed $25,000 based upon an hourly rate.
Motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, Jeff?
Aye.
Shane?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Justin?
Aye.
5-0. I'm an aye also. So we're not going to send this to them until we get Brown Township's cost-sharing agreement back. Motion to approve or deny the cost-sharing agreement with Brown Township.
Motion to approve the cost-sharing agreement with Brown Township.
Motion been made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Dustin, or Jeff?
Aye.
Shane?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dustin?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Let's try again.
Tom, will the clerk forward that to the Brown Township trustee?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Will the clerk forward that document to the Brown Township trustee to present to their board?
I think that would be the best that we could ask for. So we will ask Diana to forward that. Looking to see if there was anything else. Are there any comments from the public this evening? Has anyone here seen the title for our fire truck?
This one's signature.
Motion for approval of payment of claims.
Make a motion that we approve claims in the amount of $823,028.23.
Motion been made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Oh, Jeff?
Aye.
Shane?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dustin?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Town council comments. Jeff?
I've done it.
Shane?
I have none.
Greg?
None?
Dustin?
Oh, I get to be the bad guy. Hang on. A couple people have reached out to me, and I know you probably heard also, but I spoke to legal counsel and want to get consensus of the board that we are getting inundated with some complaints about some planning commission members. So if you guys would like I will take point and work with legal counsel, and if there's anything of cause or substance from these complaints, these are fairly serious, I will work with legal counsel to resolve those concerns. So unfortunately, I'm willing to be the bad guy.
I think we've all kind of received those same complaints, so
I imagine that we've all received.
Consensus to allow him to move forward.
Very much so.
Shane?
Yes.
Greg's consensus is for you to move forward and work with legal counsel.
I will work with legal counsel and report back.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have anything else?
Nothing.
Our next meeting date is going to be September 7th. Where do you guys want to have it?
Park.
Yeah.
On the phone.
With Shane?
Wherever he's at.
Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Jeff seconds.
Motion been made and seconded. Jeff?
Aye.
Shane?
Aye.
Greg? Aye. Dustin?
Aye.
Aye, also 5-0. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for attending.
Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna do for the next couple hours.
Tommy, good job.
That was great.